Ladies and gentlemen, Six Figs here from YouTube. We're going to be talking about internet computer, Dfinity, and everything that's going on within the ecosystem. Folks, the one and only Dominic Williams dropped an absolute stone cold stunner on all of us today via Twitter. This was an absolute banger, to say the least. Well thought out post. And he goes into great detail on cost per acquisition, which is very important. This is basically an article, and he is talking about the laws of gravity coming into effect if CPA is too high. Of course, we want CPA to be super low so you can grab customers for a super low cost. And when it comes down to it, a lot of these other chains like Solana and Avalanche, they were very well influenced by like Sam Bankman-Fried and a lot of crazy like agreements and VC stuff that really bumped up the CPA quite high. So Sam Bankman-Fried was, pretty much a master, as Dominic Williams points out, at this flywheel scheme of getting people into the ecosystems and stuff like that. We witnessed this. There was Sam Bankman-Fried mania at one point. I am creating a documentary about this whole Sam Bankman-Fried thing in a little bit, in the next couple months. You're going to see it. Coin commit, folks. Most active crypto project by new lines of code today. ICP. Nothing else can even come close to competing. 49,000 new lines of code. Also, we're seeing ICP, again, in the top 10 token by most commits. This means that projects out there are choosing to build on ICP because of its qualities. Now, pay attention to this entire chart, folks. A lot of these coins, especially like XTZ, I've seen Solana on there, ICP. These coins have been on this top 10 chart for like the last 2 years. AVAX, nah, that's kind of junk. But it's just kind of like, it is what it is. Cardano, Atom. So you'll see this list fluctuate greatly, but there is some consistency, and that's what you want to look for when looking at a chart like this. Now, Elchingon. ICP is the future of the internet. Financial, it just makes sense for enterprises. Are you not bullish? And folks, this is very interesting because when we look at this from like a grand scheme of things, data transfer in costs $10 per gigabyte. Not the end of the world. It's very good price. It's free on Amazon Web Services. But to get any of that data out, it's going to cost you. You can see how it's 7 cents a gig. Here on the internet computer, it's very much, hundreds, thousands of fractions of a penny. We're seeing that the cost in for 1 terabyte is about 9.5 Gs. That's for a terabyte. That's a lot of data. And it's free on Amazon Web Services. But to extract any of that, Amazon Web Services charges you an arm and a leg. It doesn't cost that much for the internet computer. So with that said, you can kind of see that things not only balance out, but they accelerate on the internet computer as far as cost savings. Looks like this was put out by Dfinity Community. The internet computer is 7 times cheaper. So yeah, great post by Elchingon. Giant whale, and this, folks, this is going to be called the stupid news of the day. And there's going to be several articles, and this is crazy. Giant whale sells all his altcoins at a loss due to a stop loss. Folks, now this is degenerate gambling at its finest. If you find yourself degenerate gambling, find yourself some help. Get out of the game. Do whatever you got to do. Consult a professional. This is not financial or trading advice. But what ended up happening is that there was a giant whale that was playing around in Libra finance. And basically, he had bought like 125 ETH worth of this stuff. And really, when it comes down to it, he just exited his position at 86 ETH. So he took a walloping as far as this trade went. He's been in it for like the last 2 months. My guess is that this was eating at this trader's mind. And this guy did not want to get liquidated. So he took the chop at about a 40 ETH loss. So you guys got to set stop losses. 10% hurts, but 28% hurts a lot more. I've been there, done that. 100%. This I thought was funny because this is dumb news. If you're going to be playing around with this type of money, 100 ETH, 80 ETH, whatever, and do it with Bitcoin or something less volatile. Folks, come on. Stupid people. AI deepfakes. AI deepfakes fool voters and politicians. Voters, folks, no matter where you're at in the world, you know, the unfortunate thing about life is that when you go on trial for something, you get judged by society's dumbest people. I've never been there, don't know what that's like. When you are a politician, you get to influence and get votes from society's dumbest people. But there was, this was funny. We're going to roll this here.
We know the value of voting Democratic when our votes count. It's important that you save your vote for the November election. We'll need your help in electing Democrats up and down the ticket. Voting this Tuesday only enables the Republicans in their quest to elect Donald Trump again. Your vote makes a difference in November, not this Tuesday. If you would like to be removed from future calls, please press.
So really, folks, when it comes down to it, for me, when I get these types of calls, I hang up right away. So whether or not this was even very effective at all, because I suspect that a lot of other people do the same, there could have been a few people that were dumb enough to actually fall for that. And when you start thinking about like the impacts of this AI technology and basically what it could do in instances where there are very tight races, where let's say this went out to a population of 100,000 people. Let's just say 500 people fell for it and didn't go out there and vote. And let's just say that whoever was running was short like 100 votes. Well, you know, you see the impacts of this AI stuff and how it could really impact very tight races. So my best guess is you're going to see a lot of this type of thing going on in a lot of these very tight races coming up in the elections. This isn't the last time we're going to see that. Markets are absolutely blood red. Let's look at the top 100. Same thing, folks. My portfolio has been carried by an absolute degenerate play that I've been making. I'll talk about that in just 1 second. But Internet Computer remains at rank number 21. So that's good. We're seeing Internet Computer really hold a very nice foothold around this rank 20 to 22-ish level. We're humming along at 6,400 transactions per second, folks, which is amazing. We've got 3.6 terabytes of data and smart contracts, which is around the same amount as a terabyte. So with that said, there are over about 3.6 terabytes of data as far as smart contracts on the Internet Computer are concerned. We're seeing, folks, just this tremendous growth of basically internet identities being created, which is great. So yeah, we've got people building on the Internet Computer like crazy. This I thought was really cool. In the last 7 days, basically, a lot of times what you'll see is these apps that are getting built, they will do these tests and they will burn cycles. And you can see that on January 18th, somebody out there for like a day straight burned a ton of cycles. And this effect will burn ICP. But this will tell you basically that You know, people are testing some big applications to be able to do something like that. You know, we're currently humming along at about 6,700 transactions per second, well over 378,000 smart contracts. Look at this. It just goes up and up. And this thing hasn't stopped going up since June of 2021. People are just liking to build on the internet computer. So it is what it is, folks. Follow me on Twitter at Real6Figs. We're going to cover the charts next. And folks, if you didn't catch this on my last video, code anything. I was talking about how we could be seeing a major price drop on the internet computer price. This is when it was at $12.20 or whatever. I was telling you guys about this harmonic pattern. BBB of these bullish Gartleys and these bullish butterflies. You know, there's all sorts of patterns, shark patterns, all sorts of stuff. Basically, what we're going to do is look for D. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but we need to see some trend lines start breaking here in the next few hours. We need to wait till like 5 p.m. in my opinion. This is not financial or trading advice. But in order to see where this thing could end up, you know, we basically got to measure from point B up to A. You know, we could see the $11.57 level. If things get really bad, folks, $8.66. So there you have it, guys. You know, I'm not out here trying to BS you or anything like that, but we did have internet computer break down in price. And there was something that I thought was very unusual, unfortunate to say the least, but there was a very nice falling wedge that absolutely got brutally destroyed. And I was really, excuse me one second, it was right in here. This was the falling wedge that I was tracking, and I just wasn't too confident in it. And basically, a lot of times people will go long on a falling wedge or something like that. But it's not a good thing to see these patterns, bullish patterns like this, start to break. The good news is this was a very small pattern. So small patterns are very easy to break. So yeah, with that said, we had this collapse of the price down to these levels. Now, what's going on here? Well, my first thoughts are, is that we had an ascending triangle fail. We had a falling wedge trail fail. But what I'm looking for next in the ICP price, folks, is possibly an inverse head and shoulders, something like this to play out. We need to figure out where this right shoulder could possibly be. Right now, price is at this point where it's kind of teetering. But with that said, I do think that if we see this basically fill out, it will lead us back up, maybe even to some new all-time highs, at least within like the last 6 months. I do think that it would be very easy to see, you know, this upper echelon of $17, $18 if something like this happened. We're going to be creating a more in-depth video on the price and things like that later on. So I love you guys all, and we'll check you out on, or check me out on the next video. Subscribe. Also hit that notification bell because I might be going live and you're going to miss out. See ya. Peace.